Yeah, so the topic I am sharing on tonight is the solstice, the winter solstice here in the Northern Hemisphere, the longest night of the year, which is tonight or maybe last night, I'm not sure, but somewhere right around now. Um, and also on taking refuge in the dark. So just starting like thinking a little bit about this season, this longest night of the year. In some ways, for me, this is a date I really think of as the end of the year and the beginning of a new year. There's lots of different dates that we use to mark the ending of one year and beginning of another year. But for me, this is one that I really connect with. This day or night when the sun actually shifts and begins to move towards longer and longer days again. And so there is that kind of idea with the winter solstice that, oh, this is the beginning of moving again towards the light. But for tonight, I really want to focus on being right here in the darkness, you know, in this longest night of the year, and finding some refuge in that darkness. You know, I really think of being in this space of darkness, the space of just letting the old year die, not being in a hurry to move towards the light. Just seeing what is it that, you know, what is it that the darkness is inviting me into or inviting me to be with. You know, what might be composting in this dark period, or what might be, you know, starting to, what seeds may be under the ground, germinating that we don't even know are there. You know, we've come to the end of another year that just felt like we could not have imagined that this year would be exactly what it was. And here as we are at the end of the year, moving into the new year, and things still feel so, at least to me, so uncertain, so unknown. Could not have imagined it would be in another winter where we're seeing coronavirus cases go up again in so many places. Knock on wood that they're not seem to be immediately here in Alameda County, but certainly as I talk to people around the country and around the world, it's just very scary what's happening right now. And so many other things are uncertain. So I've just been like feeling into how can I take refuge in this uncertainty and this not knowing, in this sense of maybe being in the dark. And this seems like a very appropriate day of the year to just be with that kind of inquiry. And the other thing is, you know, we've lost so many people this year. We've lost some people who've been very important to me just in these last few weeks. People like Bell Hooks, Stephen Sondheim, Blackberry is a local singer-songwriter, queer Black man. Just so many people have been lost. And I've lost my father this year. There's been so many people who've passed. I also am really holding in my heart tonight Shahara Godfrey, who's one of our Alphabet ancestors, who passed last December around this time. So yeah, holding these losses of people who've, you know, some people who've kind of defined our time, you know, thinkers like Bell Hooks or an artist like Stephen Sondheim, been sort of like era defining figures who've passed. So it feels, yeah, it feels like you really feel the loss and also feel like, oh, these people are moving into becoming new ancestors, and what possibilities might there be there as well. I wanted to invite, if anyone wants to just put in the chat, anyone who's passed over this past year who you want to just hold in this circle tonight. I invite you to share in the chat any names of folks who've passed. Yeah, I just want to be sending wishes to everyone who has passed in these recent times, or is, recently passed or passing to, right now, sending wishes that their spirits be supported on their way, that they be held and received in so much love and compassion, they be welcomed home. Just all of these folks who've passed, wishing them ease and an end to suffering, wishing that they be welcomed home in love, joy, ease, and wishing that they are finding freedom and liberation. And yeah, so as I'm thinking about how we might take refuge in the dark, a part of that for me is taking refuge in not knowing things. I have like a mantra that I use sometimes that's just saying, I don't know, over and over again. Just, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. And it's one of the ways that when my mind is like thinking, sometimes it's worrying, it's catastrophizing, it's thinking this terrible thing is going to happen or that terrible thing is going to happen. I can take refuge actually in the fact that I don't know what's going to happen. But it can be a way to like let my mind release a little bit into that not knowing. And I really connect that with like taking refuge in a sense of mystery, unknown, and I really connect that in the practice, this 7 homecomings practice that Lama Rod has shared with us, the 6th homecoming of silence and space. And for that what I visualize there is the sky, and in particular the night sky and the planets, and that sense of mystery, the cosmos, this kind of endless dark expanse that is so unknown and unknowable, and that can actually be in itself a place of refuge. And it's interesting that we tend to, in a lot of different spiritual traditions, talk about the light and connecting with a sense of the light as maybe one of our refuges. And it's, it's just interesting to flip that around and say, how can we actually take refuge in darkness? I think of taking refuge in all that happens under the ground in the dark, all of these vast networks of mycelium that, produce mushrooms. We know that there are these networks that are living beings that are as big sometimes as an entire town. And there's so much that we don't know that's happening under the ground. And also like in the depths of the ocean. So there's all of these places that are sort of vast and dark and unknown, under the ground, the ocean, the cosmos, and there's such a sense of potentiality in all of that darkness and all of that unknown. Like evidently the ocean, the depths of the ocean are much less mapped even than the cosmos, even though it's right here on our planet, those dark depths of the ocean, people don't really know what's down there, and there are constantly new creatures being discovered that live in those depths. So just like that unknown is a place of, an unknown and mystery can be, for me, a place of refuge, a place of like, oh, this is vast and there's so much potential energy, potential space there. One of the things I was also reflecting on as I was just getting ready, thinking about the darkness, and I was thinking, well, how does this fit into Buddhism, this concept of the dark? And one thing that's really interesting that I remembered, and I went and looked it up, is the word nirvana that we often translate as enlightenment. The Buddha was said to become enlightened, but the word in Sanskrit was nirvana that was used in that, or in Pali, which is the original language of the Buddha, that would be nibbana, but it's basically the same word with the same origin. So I looked it up in, I have to put my reading glasses on, in the Princeton Dictionary of Buddhism. And it says, so in Sanskrit, the word nirvana means extinction. Its etymology and meaning have been widely discussed by traditional and modern scholars. Nirvana is commonly interpreted as meaning blowing out, from the Sanskrit root va, to blow, plus the prefix nir, out, as when a flame is blown out by the wind. So it's like thought of as the extinction of the flame of desire, or the extinction of the three poisons of greed, hatred, and aversion, or as the cessation of afflictions. And so it kind of goes on in that vein. But I think what was really interesting that I was thinking about this, that the word literally means blowing out. Like if we imagined we had a candle, particularly imagining a candle at a time when there were no electric lights, and you blow out a candle and you would be in the darkness. So I thought it was sort of interesting that this term that we translate as enlightenment kind of has this literal meaning of the light going out, or this candle going out. And then I think as I was reading more of this about nirvana, and I have to say, like, enlightenment is not one of the things I think about a whole lot in terms of my own practice, because I think, I am much more focused on like, how do we all get free? How do I use my own practice to uproot my own conditioning around things like, white supremacy and patriarchy and colonialism and all of these things. Like, how do we actually use the practice to get free in some really practical, concrete ways? And how do we do that together? So this piece of like personal enlightenment isn't one that I think a lot about, but I was sort of interesting as I was diving into it and thinking about darkness. The other thing that was interesting is, and I get into sort of this, I'll just read a little description in the Buddha's words of nirvana, and it also gets into this piece of kind of mystery and the unknown, which was sort of surprising. So the Buddha, this is the Buddha's words describing nirvana. Hero monks, I say that there is no coming or going, no staying, no passing away or arising. It is not something fixed. It moves not on. It is not based on anything. This is indeed the end of suffering. So it's just interesting that this language describing this concept of nirvana, or extinguishment or going out, is like language that is just pointing to kind of what something is not, or oh, there's another line in here that I missed. There's like, not the sphere of neither perception nor non-perception, neither this world nor another, nor both together, neither the sun nor the moon. So all of this is to say like that it's just not anything that could be described. You know, so again, it's a sense of like almost the unknowable, kind of like really tapping into mystery and paradox and the unknowable in describing this quality of nirvana, or going out. So, you know, it made me think like we've attached enlightenment to this concept, perhaps partly because of kind of concepts from Christianity, I don't know, but the language itself is pointing to somewhat to being in the dark and in the unknown. So this is just, I'm making this up based on my reading of this material, and I could be way off, but I thought it was really interesting. This idea of actually the Buddha's awakening being described in terms of darkness or in terms of the unknowable. Yeah, so then I thought, you know, this practice of just saying, I don't know, seems like a pretty legit practice. My little mantra of I don't know. So anyway, just some sort of musings around, maybe it's not enlightenment, perhaps it's like endarkenment. And I'll say, since the new Matrix movie is coming out, that I often think of the Matrix, this kind of like moment in the first Matrix movie, you know, where Neo takes I think it was the red pill, and then like all of a sudden wakes up to the Matrix and to seeing then what's actual reality is. And that actual reality is quite dark. You know, there's sort of like this flushing down into this underworld, and then he's in this underworld, which is a place that's very dark and, you know, mysterious, and you can't see very much. So I think I've always thought of that moment from the movie as kind of a metaphor for enlightenment, but now maybe we'll call it endarkenment. So anyway, just something interesting to think about. And I'm looking forward to the new movie, hoping it's better than some of the sequels. You can hope. Anyway, so just some thoughts around that. And wanted to bring in a few words from other people. So one is this very short poem from Wendell Berry called To Know the Dark. He says, to go in the dark with a light is to know the light. To know the dark, go without sight, and find that the dark too blooms and sings and is traveled by dark feet and dark wings. I'm going to put this in the chat. So just to read it one more time, because it's very short. To go in the dark with a light is to know the light. To know the dark, go without sight, and find that the dark too blooms and sings and is traveled by dark feet and dark wings. So anyway, that was, someone recently taught me a song that was based on that one. Unfortunately, I can't remember the song, so otherwise I would sing it to you. But that really resonated for me. And then just did my, I saw today, Adrienne Marie Brown has like a new column for Yes magazine, and kind of started that off with a solstice spell, she calls it, or we could call it a poem. But I want to honor her her spell, and I wanted to bring that in as well because it's very resonant with our musings around the darkness. And I'll just put this in the chat, so if you want to follow along, you can. I'm going to read Adrienne Marie Brown's words. And so Adrienne Marie Brown, for those maybe who are not familiar, she is thinker, writer, facilitator, number of books out, Emergent Strategy, Pleasure Activism. She has a new novel out called Grievers. And if you haven't already checked her out, I recommend checking her out. So I'm not gonna read the whole thing. I'm gonna start maybe a third or so of the way down. So she says, tonight we dream our longest dream of the farthest future. We look in those children's faces without regret, without shame, whispering, we will change everything for you. It is because of these dreams that we will remember to hibernate, to slow down to the pace of snow, to feed on the memories of a year we call good because we survived it. We place our mouths to the sky and cast this spell. May we all have a warm place. May we all have a soft blanket. May we all hold a steaming cup in our hands. May we all know a sated belly. May we all have a shoulder for our grief. May we all set down what we cannot bear. May we all be unhunted. May we all remember we are sacred. May we all touch our bodies in worship. May we all have room enough to stumble as we dance to the moonlight's subtle music. We dose this enchantment with our holy intentions. And in this taste of eternal darkness, may we honor all that is black and shadow in ourselves and in the world. May we crawl into the cave carved especially for this season and hear nothing but the quiet of stone. May we know without question that there is time for our rest. May we remember surrender, touching the dirt that holds our ancestors and our futures with reverence. And in this way, may we all know the love of Earth. Just leaving a moment for that to reverberate. I love so many things about that spell, bringing in the darkness and honoring the darkness, but also honoring rest and hibernation. So I know for myself at this time of year, I am really ready to rest and hibernate. And I am looking forward to, over this period, I don't participate in the Christmas holidays. I really looking forward to taking time for rest, for practice, for getting out in nature. But really the rest piece feels more needed than it usually even does. I am really ready to hibernate. I know I often think of bears hibernating as a touchstone, but I learned about another animal that hibernates called the dormouse. I had thought like dormouse was like, oh, it's a kind of a mouse called a dormouse. I was reading about it and it said it comes from the French, and I'm going to mispronounce this, but dormouse, which means sleeper. So it's actually named for its quality of sleeping. And the dormouse sleeps generally 6 months out of the year. So they eat a lot, like May to October, eat, get nice and fat, and then they sleep for 6 months. Like they just store a few snacks and they wake up a few times and eat some snacks and keep sleeping. I was like, that sounds great. I want the Dormouse to be my spirit animal right now. And yeah, so they're really excellent sleepers. And evidently, if like there's not enough food, they're able to sleep up to 11 months of the year, which is incredible. So you can go look up the Dormouse, Dormouse, for inspiration. And yeah, so I'm wishing you all lots of opportunity to sleep and to rest. And I wanted to offer also a little bit of a metta chant. And I invite you to join me in this. And some of you may know this, this one already. But, you know, one other thing I love about this season is singing. I just don't love Christmas songs. So it's like, I'm going to sing. And you all can sing too, and you can just be on mute. So, so feel free to join in. We could try the oh yes, that was the Dormouse that said that. I forgot. Thank you, Martha. Yeah, so we could try singing off mute on Zoom, but it can get a little chaotic. So let's try it with everyone muted. So I put the lyrics, the words here. This is a metta song, and there's basically just 4 lines which repeat. The first time we wish, may I be filled with loving kindness. Then the second time around, it's may you be filled with loving kindness, and then may we be filled with loving kindness. And I'm going to sing the whole thing a few times over so that hopefully you can catch the melody and join in. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be free. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be free. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be free. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be happy. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be free. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be free. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be free. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be happy. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be free. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be free. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be free. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be happy. One more time. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be free. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be free. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be free. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be happy. Well, thank you all for singing with me. It was lovely to see that folks were singing. Even though I couldn't hear you, I'm sorry that that part of Zoom technology doesn't work, because it'll be delightful to all sing together and to get to hear your voices too. I'm going to dedicate the merit. So just inviting us all to take a moment to come back to the present moment, come back to the body, just recognizing the goodness of our coming together and practicing. May this goodness and merit be shared with all who are suffering, all beings in this world and all other worlds. May they be safe and protected from harm. May they receive the care and support and love that they need. May they experience well-being, ease, and comfort. May all beings everywhere be free. Thank you all. Thanks for being here.